It's the Talk Ninja, the Talk Master, the Tech Master. It's Sid Bolton, it's Sid Bits, and it's a Wednesday. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. How
Like
you
the
doing?
new titles?
Yeah, it's always good. Always good to have a new title.
Making those up as I go. You're going to try and get me into something, which you do every Wednesday, that I've never been a part of.
Well, social media, Ted, it's a big thing. I'm sure everyone's heard about Facebook and Twitter, and there's all kinds of other social media sites out there. But what's interesting is now how the business world is actually embracing social media. It's not just for the high school students anymore.
Well, I have to be shown the application, because to me it's, I left my house, I walked my dog, I went down the street, I saw a rapper on the street,
And those are all very important things, Ted.
I know.
Everyone wants to know what you just had for lunch.
But aren't there a great number of people kind of out there doing that?
You know what? There is a lot of that. Absolutely. No question about it. And there's a lot of privacy stuff. You probably heard a lot about Facebook being a little bit of trouble lately in the news about their issues with privacy. But at the same time, there's still some really valid uses promotion-wise that Facebook and Twitter both offer, and other social media sites, but those are the two big ones. And so much so that someone has actually come out with a really, really good book. Now, this book is called Power Friending. I'm going to have this here, and there's a website for it as well, powerfriending.com. And this is written by Amber MacArthur. Now, Amber has been well known in social media circles for years and years and years. She's a former co-host on Call for Help on Rogers, which was with Leo Laporte, who's a well-known technology expert. She's got Command N, which is a TV series on the web that she does. She also does a podcast with Leo Laporte called Net at Night. So there's lots of things that Amber's doing that make her an expert in the social media. And she actually, it's interesting, in her book, and this Power Friending book actually doesn't come out in Canada till next week, June 15th. But she talks about the fact that maybe social media has actually redefined what we think of as a friend. Because most people think of friends as people that they know, they've known for years, they've had interactions with face to face. But when it comes to social media, that's not necessarily the case anymore.
Well, it's really funny you mentioned, first of all, I saw Amber Mac. I want to know if there was an Amber PC. But the other
She likes
thing
Macs
is,
too, actually.
well,
so
being a
there you
baseball
go.
nut, the Rogers family now has Twitter Tuesdays at home games, and they're inviting people sitting in the stands to interact with the broadcasters by doing it that way. The other point that was interesting is lately people are kind of complaining about dumb moves the manager made. And I heard somebody make a point. They said, you know what the difference is now? It's like Twitter. People are sitting at games or watching games instantly passing judgment on somebody else. And the more that perpetuates itself, it's where commentary is coming from.
It's a whole new way to interact for people that have, celebrity status like yourself, of course. It's a whole new way to get feedback from your audience that you have somewhat of control over. You can still choose when you look at it, how often you look at it, and you also have control over the messages. And of course, lately we've got the mayor's race happening here in Brantford with, 10 candidates or 9?
What time is it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. There'll be 10 by the end of the day. But here's a new way for them to interact and find out, what do people really want? And this is the kind of feedback system that we've never really had before. And so for businesses, and I'm not just talking about commercial businesses, but also not-for-profits, this is a great, inexpensive way for them to interact with their audience. But the thing is there's ways you can make mistakes too, right? Like anything else. And that's what's nice about this book, is that it's got some really good, solid advice about how to actually go out there and improve your business by using Twitter. And it doesn't matter what kind of business it is, Ted, there's some way that you can interact with social media to make your business better.
Should there be an Inside Brant Twitter going on?
There should be, yeah, absolutely.
And should I read the book before I attempt to do anything like this?
Well, it won't hurt, that's for sure. It's got some really, really good advice. She's got some interesting stories about Tony Robbins right at the beginning of the book, so that's something worth, even for that, I find that quite interesting. So it's good, and it's good information to follow. So
Tony Robbins, you can make your life better. Okay.
using Twitter
Yes,
and
you
Facebook
can,
and social media.
Okay. Thank you for coming in. We really
You're welcome.
See you next Wednesday.
All right.
Sid Bolton and Sid Bits, part of Inside Brant. As we move to a Thursday, Kathy Prohl is going to be joining us from the Canadian Deaf and Blind Association. Finally, after all this soccer, I get to talk baseball tomorrow. Sean Boyle is going to be here. He's the field manager of the Brantford Junior Red Sox. Plus, of course, four-legged friends on the SPCA. Thanks for being here, and thanks for doing it Inside Brant.